Happy Friday, everybody. It's Jamie Green, the Solar Queen, your host of Kickstart Conversations, where I interview business owners, entrepreneurs, and side hustlers and ask them how they got started in their business and what they do. So this week, I have the brand whisperer on, Erna Blooms, and she's going to talk all about branding and why it's so important to brand your company, brand your products, brand everything. So hang tight. She'll be right on. All right, we are live. Happy Friday, Erna.
Hi, Jamie. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I'm so happy to have you on the show, and it's been such a pleasure getting to know you through the internet.
Same here. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah. So,
Talk to you.
What was that?
I'm very excited to talk to you.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited to talk with you too. So, for those who are new to my show, I interview all kinds of entrepreneurs and business owners. And Erna and I actually met through Grant Cardone's 10X boot camp. When was that? In October?
Yes, it was in October.
It was in October, and we were a bunch of us entrepreneurs, business owners were in this boot camp together, and then they would have breakout sessions. And Erna and I were in a breakout session to go over our pitch. Like, if we were to meet someone and explain our businesses in 30 seconds or 45 seconds or less, what would we say and what would we share? Mm-hmm. And that's how Erna and I met each other, right?
Yes. and you actually really good at pitching because you got top 10.
Yes. So I went to do the pitch off. Yeah. So I got in the top 10 and then after that, I think in the next day, weren't we in the breakout room together, right?
I think we decided to Zoom with each other. So we got to know offside, like on our.
Yeah. We wanted to connect with each other. Well, one, because we're both female. I think we had all females in that room.
Yeah.
But we're also Asian. I think you're my first female Asian entrepreneur business owner on my show. So,
oh, really? Wow!
Congratulations!
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So I know you shared this out with your audience. If you're watching and you find that this is valuable information, you want to share it with anybody watching. You want to share it out. Please feel free to share this show out. Erna is a wealth of knowledge and experience in the branding field. So, Erna, first, tell me and tell the audience, where are you from and where did you grow up?
Okay. I actually grew up in Indonesia. Some people don't know where Indonesia is. You know where Bali is? That's Indonesia.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. People know Bali and sometimes not Indonesia, but I'm from Indonesia, but I'm Chinese.
Okay.
And, so I grew up there until I was high school. Then I came to US.
Wow. My husband's been to Bali. He did this like round the Asia Pacific world ticket,
nice.
And so he went to like Beijing, Hong Kong, Singapore, I think, and Bali was one of those locations.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
I've been to Jakarta. That's all I've only.
That's where I was born. Yeah, Jakarta.
Okay. Yeah. So I worked with when I was at Boeing, I worked with Lion Air.
Oh my.
Which is a newer airline, I'd say, within the last 15 years, I'd say, maybe even 10 years. But anyway, 15 years. I'm going to say 15 years. But that's why I got to go to Jakarta, Indonesia, was for that. It was a lovely, I really liked it. I want to go back to Bali. I want to go visit Bali.
We should go there.
So when did you move to America?
I came here 1993, right after high school. Came here with my twin sister. And so the two of us came and then we arrived. We actually went to UC Riverside first. And then
Riverside.
To learn language. And after that, we moved to Orange County, like 6 months after that, to attend like college, like Orange Coast College.
Yeah.
And we love the beach there. We live like 5 minutes by the beach, so it's really cool. Yeah. And then, and then I went to there I went to, after that, I went to Pasadena, which is Art Center College of Design, Pasadena. And I love Pasadena area. So that's where I reside.
Gorgeous. Yeah. It's one of my favorite parts of California, actually. Yes. If I were to live in a city or a suburb in Southern California, I think I would pick Pasadena.
Yes. Yeah. I just love the culture here, the food. It's so close to like the mountain and the beach, it's like, or the desert, everywhere is like nearby. So to me, like central, part is close to LA too, so
yeah.
So I love this area.
So you went to that college, that school to learn how to do design.
Yes. So I used to be an artist and an illustrator major, but I realized I want to create more with my creative talents, so I want to learn graphics design. So I did graphic design, and then I stumbled into packaging design in art center. Yeah, I did not know there is a field called packaging design, which ended up to be my love, so packaging design becoming my career now, for like 19 years.
That's and when you say packaging design, are you talking about like a physical product for a brand?
Yes.
That would be on the store shelf.
Correct. Yes.
So you design the internal side, the internal packaging too, or just the external?
Yeah. For example, if you buy a candle, right? Like the actual, they call it the vessel, right? The container. I also design those, and also the packaging on the outside. So it's primary and secondary. They both are. I used to only do the secondary, but then like in my 15-year experience, I actually end up designing the inside as well in collaboration with bigger brands. So yeah. So
wow. So share some of the brands that you've worked with in
so
your career.
I can just briefly talk about some of those. Some of them are like, I think because I was working on the private label company, right? And so they manufacture that we developed and then did the whole development all the way to distribution and production. And so some of this brand, we never really like be able to like broadcast it so much, but I have the privilege to work with like Ralph Lauren product collections, Kate Spade New York's fragrances, Williams Sonoma, JW Marriott. Yeah. So Pottery Barn.
So some really big brand names out there.
Body Shop too. Yeah. So it was kind of cool.
And the Honest Company, isn't that Jessica Alba's? Jessica Alba's?
That one actually not through the previous work. It's actually through my studio now. So I left my corporate job like 6 years ago and formed my own creative studio and my own art.
What was that like for you? What made you decide? What made you decide to go from corporate America? Because I've gone from corporate America. I don't think I'll ever go back. There's nothing wrong with corporate America.
No,
but I don't think I can ever do that again. So what was that decision point for you to be like, you know what? I'm done with corporate America. I'm going to start my own thing.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
It was a calling. Like it's like it's a timing thing, So like three things I would say happened at that time. One thing is I started creating, it's like I met an artist who actually only selling like art prints and greeting cards. And I said, wow, what a simple life. And, instead of me like doing all this, run and really busy, and she just have a peaceful life. And I was like, wow, she can support herself just selling those two things. I was like, I have more knowledge than that. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it, So, but that wasn't the push. The push was like, I think I was starting to draw again after I met her. I started drawing a collection called Curious Morphology brand, which is what, the canvas that I show you during the
flamingo,
the flamingo teeny. So I did this whole series of Curious Morphology that I want to do a trade show for. And then one time I was just starting on Instagram, and I actually end up meeting someone that said that she has an RA disease,
and rheumatoid arthritis.
Couldn't follow me, she said, because I follow her, and then she couldn't follow me because she has limitations. She already have 4,000 followers, And I was, here you go, I was a newbie in Instagram.
I still don't understand Instagram.
Yeah. So then I try to help her find solutions, and then I just feel like I don't like seeing people stuck. I always try to find solutions for if I see something. And so I actually end up creating my art called Hedgehog Dandelion. If you want to see it, it's on the curiousmorphology.com. It's basically that it's a hedgehog. It's a dandelion drawing that's have like a hedgehog on top with like a the dandelion seeds kind of flying away.
Yeah.
So that art actually has a concept like letting go your pain and uncertainty in life and turning into wish and hope. So I end up dedicating that art to her. And then the next day she followed me and she told me like, wow, she's in Germany and I was like in America, right? And we never met. And then when she decided to follow me, and she said, much harder to follow someone who cares and than who doesn't. And I was like, wow, how powerful an art could be. That was like my awakening moment, actually, when I realized that powerful art could be that meaningful to someone and express the connection, that we have. And I felt that was my turning point when I was, wow, I want to do more of that kind of change. You know what I mean? So then when the corporate world, sometimes people like hire you and they pay you well, but then like, they don't have that amount of passion. So I end up like, I decided to make my move. I told my boss, like, I'm leaving in 6 months. So I gave her like 6 month notice. And then I made my plan, and I just, phase out, and she actually ended up sending me a new client, so which is great. She became my client, and also so it was
wow. So that's great. So you branch out on your own, and what kind of services were you providing to your customers?
The same thing, actually. I was just basically doing like a lot of the design, like branding, brand design. If you have like a new brand, right? And then you want to start your own, or you want to revamp your current one, or you adding a service or a business in your umbrella, and I can help with kind of how to put it together. So currently I used to be just doing design work, but lately I realized, like, I think the last 5 years, as I was helping a lot of clients through like either branding project or retainers, like on an ongoing basis, I noticed that they actually end up asking me a lot of business questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? Like, for example, like, how do I, which supplier should I go to? It's just beyond like the design itself. They actually know how to execute and how to grow their business. So I end up creating, last year, I end up combining branding and business growth mastermind into my package, which really helped.
So you're coming from a whole, like a holistic approach to to business owners. Because I'm a little bit familiar, with Amazon FBA and private labeling, and it's a whole, like, those people who are selling on Amazon and creating a new, like taking a white label and private labeling it, making it their own brand. That's what I did with my product when I was selling on Amazon. It would have been so beneficial to work with someone like you at that time. So if you're in e-commerce or selling on Amazon or getting started, and you're watching, even like if you're watching on my YouTube channel, because I have a whole YouTube channel that was dedicated to my Amazon FBA journey, you should reach out to Erna to help you with your branding. Do you do like, so along with that, you design the packaging, you design the brand, you consult them on the whole process. Do you also have services where people can have their products photographed, or like video, 3D rendered type stuff? Because I know that's really important to Amazon or e-commerce in general, not just Amazon, not just Shopify and drop shipping and all that kind of stuff. But these, I'm assuming, would be all services that you and your company can provide, right?
Yes, absolutely. We provide all of the, like, a turnkey service. So whether you want just some pieces of it, we have a list of capabilities we can do, from branding to like graphic design to creative direction, to photography and everything. So basically, Blooming Aces Creative, I'm a CEO of Blooming Aces Creative, and in the bloomingaces.com, you can see like our design retainers, and it has like a capability list of like what we can even do like book illustration. And we actually help some of our client who did we designed their packaging, and they want us to photograph, and I'll create digital comps, like before even producing, to put it up on Amazon so they can pre-sell it, so we can do stuff like that too.
You can do book covers. I mean, you can, and you can do corporate branding for businesses, for
our niche, to be honest with you, it's in the like a smaller to like medium-sized companies, because we do a lot of high-touch connection. And that's where my passion is too. I feel like I can help someone in the more like a bigger picture, overall the company, so, and the brand, so that's, I think, like a niche, because I think like corporations sometimes it's like they will hire like this gigantic design firm and a huge budget. Not that we don't want to do that. We will welcome those, but a lot of time, to me, like it will depend on like their leadership. Like if they're passionate, I will love I will love to help them,
Yeah.
But sometimes like if they're a little bit more like very focusing on like just the ROI is very important, but just the ROI without the passion or the mission, to me, like I could not draw the inspiration from who they are and what they're creating in the world. So I'm
Yeah.
more like going for impact. So
That's awesome. I love that. So you have a team, I'm assuming. Do you have a team that works
yes,
with you?
my team is actually like I'm big on freedom lifestyle type of
Mhm.
approach. That's why I'm like shying away from the way corporate world works. So I actually have a team of freelancer that work with me. So there's sometimes they have other stuff. I see all of it. I see us as like equals. To me, like think about it, like each one of us is like a piece of the puzzle. From the big world puzzle. So to me, like everybody's like they have like a same level field. We're not like going up and down. Like some people have like their own strength, of course. However, I believe that each one of us is that unique puzzle piece that fit in certain part of the world. Like the map.
Right.
So
Right.
to me, like that's why I feel like I want to encourage people to not put themselves down. To make sure that shine your light and find your strength. So I like to connect like over 10 million people with their like superpower, fulfilling business, and also freedom lifestyle. I think a lot of people like doing their business. I noticed that some of my clients, they're great people, and sometimes I feel that they're missing the fulfilling part of the business. Like they're becoming like the business running them instead of like them running the business. So
Right. Yeah.
when you find the right branding, the way you create. There's three parts to branding. Can I elaborate on that real quick?
Yes, please. And I'll
Yeah.
even put them in here if you want me. Do you want me to put you share them and I'll put the 3 parts to branding.
Yeah. So three parts of the branding that I feel that's important is number one is the visual, right? Like, the logo, the stationery, the business card, like all of the graphics, that's like the visual. The second part to me that's important, it's the character branding. And sometimes, people didn't realize that you need to include your characteristic, who you are, what is the voice, how do you say things, and some of the example for like really good for character brand is Oprah. Okay. She doesn't really necessarily like have product, but people follow her. That's kind of like, to me, it's character branding. Your character is what people follow, And the last part is to me, it's like customer service, customer experience branding. How people engage with you on the daily basis. Is it through social media? Is it through email lists? Is it through blog? Is it through like for you, for example, like through this live show? So everybody have that different way of customer experience. So you have to decide which one is it fits you as your as a person.
Yeah.
Really fulfill you. And then if you doing that, and then it clicks with your passion, your capacity, and then what you want to do in life, what you want to be remembered for or by, I just feel that will be a fulfilling business. And I'm here to basically help people or entrepreneurs, get there, and by a lot of time, like asking questions through mastermind, and we will brainstorm to get you closer to that. Because at the end of the day, that's what will keep you running long.
Yeah, it's very it's so funny. It's very similar to this book that I'm reading called Primal Branding. Have you ever read this book?
Mm-mm.
So this is by Patrick Hanlon. It's like required reading at Google and YouTube and all of that.
Really?
I don't care for the cover. It's but it's about,
scary.
scary. But he's revising. He's got a new edition out with a different book cover.
Oh,
But he goes into a lot of the things that you mentioned, which is, a brand is a belief system. Like, what is it that your company believes in? What is it? What are the visuals? What are the words and the culture that's being created? Very similar to it. You should pick up this book. I think you would really love it. I've gone through some worksheets and stuff on creating, helping find my brands.
Yes.
The whole brand thing.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Do you consume any brand right now? Like, what is it, the brand that you consume? Whether it's clothes, drink, whatever. What is it? Okay, Starbucks. Okay, let's just say Starbucks. Why do you go to Starbucks, not Coffee Bean or some other places?
So my story. Okay, so here's a fascinating story about Starbucks. When I was 19 years old, when I was 20 years old, I was working at Boeing. and I was trying to get into Bible college in Chicago, and I couldn't get in. I got into the school, but I couldn't go to school there because they required all the students to live on campus, and they didn't have any housing available.
Yeah.
So I decided to stay at, because I knew I was going to do that. Boeing was having voluntary layoffs. So I took a voluntary layoff, but they knew I was going to stay until I left.
Mm-hmm.
I got a job at Starbucks because I figured if I got a job at Starbucks and I knew I wasn't going to be moving there for 6 months, because it takes 6 months to be at Starbucks before you can transfer to another store. Like out of state. So I got a job at Starbucks because I knew I'm going to be moving to Chicago, hopefully in 6 to 8 months. I had my job at Boeing. It was before they went to move their headquarters to Chicago. And so I like coffee, but this is actually hot tea. It's mint tea. I don't drink coffee anymore. But when long story short is it's not really going to be a long story short, but I ended up, not because I couldn't go to school in Chicago, I came back full time to Boeing. They hired me into another position, and I traveled around the world.
Okay.
I have an extensive collection of city mugs from all the countries, all the cities I've been to in the world. The 2 places where I don't have mugs of where I even have one for Jakarta, believe it or not.
Yeah. I want to see this whole thing lined up.
Okay, I'll show you
a picture and then line this up. I want to see those. It's so awesome.
So I've been to 23 different countries in my travels for Boeing. And the 2 places that I don't have mugs from, because there were no Starbucks in Moscow, Russia yet, or Mumbai, India. So I don't have mugs from those locations. But I went to Starbucks because I knew every time I go to Starbucks, I'm going to have a consistent cup of coffee, and it's going to remind me of home. So that's why I am a Starbucks fan. I don't like their mobile ordering, and I don't like how you have, I like the mobile ordering, but I don't like that you have to go if you go into the store, they're too concerned about the mobile ordering and fulfilling on the mobile orders than they are helping the customer right in front of you. So if the CEO or anybody important at Starbucks is watching that, I think you should have a dedicated barista team to fulfill on mobile orders alone and still focus on the in-store customer, because it's gone down. The service has gone down terribly. And if you are watching and you want to comment, and if you agree, let me know in the comments. But that is why I go to Starbucks. I go to Pete's. I don't like Pete's. I don't like their coffee. Although their whole beans at Costco I buy, because they're actually, I control the quality. But I think Pete's coffee, anytime I go to Pete's Coffee, the coffee was overburnt. And
so consistency, consistency. What you can expect it, and then the visual is just, it's very consistent and easy to recognize.
Yeah, I still prefer the white and green cups over the holiday cups. Sometimes the holiday cups come out and I'm like, those are really boring designs. That's boring branding.
You like the classic look.
Yeah, so that's why I go to Starbucks. I mean, it's just, it's comforting. It's familiar. I know I can go and it's going to be.
Do you remember the first time, like you don't know Starbucks at all? First time, I mean, aside from a job, was it just because of the job, or you knew it before?
Oh, I knew. I mean, because I grew up in Washington State, and Starbucks originated out of.
So, do you remember the first time you have the contact with Starbucks?
I just felt impressed. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like Starbucks, like, whew.
Is it a store? Like, before you was like, oh, that's a cool store? Or is it like because you taste the coffee and like, wow, what was it? You remember?
I think the overall feeling. Yeah. Like, it just made me, well, maybe I know too much about Starbucks. They wanted it to be your third place. Like, outside of your office or outside of your home or your workplace, they wanted people to be like, they wanted Starbucks to be the place that you think to go to. And maybe that got ingrained into me, but it sure did work. Like, good coffee, good branding, good music, good ambiance when you went to a Starbucks. And but what were you thinking though?
The reason why I'm asking about this example is because it's easier for you and also your audience to understand what branding can do.
The identification, right?
Yeah, what was the initial connection? The branding, it's basically the initial connection that you create, with potential audience, and also you serve your customer on an ongoing basis, has become part of your I like to call it like loyalty loyalty program, but I like to say it's kind of like your tribe. You know what I mean? Like they're like, it's become part of their lifestyle. Like you could, like if I say like, okay, Starbucks is no longer around, are you gonna cry? Probably a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it would, if I go to another, it's terrible. It's like going to, I don't know. It's like going to another country and eating at McDonald's. I personally have never eaten at a McDonald's outside of the United States. I don't really eat at McDonald's, but when I would travel, I wouldn't eat it because I wasn't sure if it was going to be consistent.
Actually, it's consistent. McDonald's is consistent. When I was in Singapore, that's the one thing is consistent. The feeling.
Those are the benefits of going to brand, like to businesses that are across the globe. It's going to be the similar experience, right?
A safe bet at the outside.
Because I always felt like no matter where I went in the world, I felt like I was close to home when I was at Starbucks.
Yeah. See, they're successful in creating their brand is because, that's the emotional connection. We are like social animals, right? So we are basically longing for connection, longing for meanings. And I think Starbucks did that to you in some way at certain point in time. You actually have that connection with them and it stays with you. And the fact that they're consistent with it, then you become a loyal customer, right?
Yes.
And then my daughter just recently talked about Starbucks too. It's like, why I like about Starbucks? Because they always create new things, and then you cannot get it anywhere else, like the different flavor, So they're successful at that. So that's customer experience part, how do you keep going with that? Visual is one thing. It's like to help recognize, but visual means nothing if you do not back it up with your character branding and also customer experience, So if, like, for example, if Starbucks have the logo the way it is, but it doesn't have the ambiance, you know what I mean? Like consistent service. I'm not sure if you feel the same way about them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's like clothing brands too, I bet, so you've worked in before Blooming Aces, you worked with Ralph Lauren, right?
We were doing the candle collection part.
Oh, candle collection. But Ralph Lauren carries I think they have a home brand. I mean, they have
yes, they have the whole home and also
they have everything. But there's something that with people who buy Ralph Lauren, they associate status or wealth or feeling or with that, and even like Apple versus Android. Like
I was going to say about Apple. That's the same thing, that kind of loyalty. That I'm on Apple. Like when someone asks me like what brand do I consume, I will say Apple. That's my phone. My I have iPod before. I have their laptop. I have their everything. When someone says you want to get PC is cheaper, bro, I'm like no, I don't. I much rather pay for it.
You're part of the tribe. You probably have you ever waited outside of in line for an Apple?
I haven't gone that far.
I haven't gone that far either.
Fanatics like that, I'm kind of practical.
So let's talk about the importance if you're starting a company or you are an established company and you're kind of like not sure about your branding.
Yes.
Talk about how you work with those type of companies and help them discover that. You said you do some workshops and consulting.
Yes, I have a couple of things actually I'm introducing this year because I noticed that some customer, they have different level customer, right? Like some of them, they have like a medium size, they already have a budget for like, branding, for example. That's good, so then it's easy plug-in for that one. But for example, some customer that's like, they're really just starting off and they want to start their brand and they have big dreams, however, they don't have like the enough budget to match it. And to me like that, I don't want to turn my back and say like, oh, you should not do anything. You know what I mean? But I'm a big believer as like, if you have a good heart, good mission, and then the know-how for a business, I think I'm there to support you. So we have actually offer like some like either brand audit session or some like mastermind group. Actually, I'm rolling a mastermind group, like as a group where people can come and ask any question. Because branding is so specific to certain, either if you are a product brand, or like service, company, right? So there's different ones. So if I just create like one thing, like to offer, it might not fit. So I just created this mastermind group. If someone want to join, I do like the monthly thing, which is like only $250. Like, I mean, sorry, it's like less than that actually. 145. Sorry, $145 per month. We meet two times a month. 2 hours each, group of 10 people. So everybody can come and say, where do I begin? How do I start? And then they can purchase hours. So they can like incrementally say, okay, I'm going to invest a little bit. So I want to be able to be there for them when they're starting off as they grow. I actually have been doing that for like one of this cool brand called Meaningful Mantras. Started like about, I want to say 2.5 years ago now. So she's been my client since the beginning when she first launched her product until now. She's still a client. She grew 1,000 followers to like 3,000 something now, and then she's doing really, really well. This last holiday, her brand is just, kind of
taken off.
Taking
off. That's great. You have a Facebook group.
Yes.
Is it available for anyone to come and join?
Yes, we actually like we have to approve them, but anybody can join, and then we approve them. We have certain rules, that people has to be they're okay to promote what they do. We actually don't mind that, but we have to be very mindful. I wanna our community is very loving and supportive, and it's a safe haven for entrepreneurs to grow. They can share their win, they can share the challenge, and we can be there for them. Kind of like close friends, like good friends, and we're a little bit less like too uptight. So we do want to be careful about religious kind of thing, because we want to be more inclusive, not excluding. So, but anybody can join, and we have good people in there. We just started like late last year. It's like so we just
that's great to grow have a Facebook group for a community that you're serving, and everyone can help each other, kind of like with the mastermind thing.
Exactly.
So, and then people can follow you, Erna, on Instagram as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm most active in Instagram, most active there. But
you're most active on Instagram?
Or omnipresent.
Right. We're learning. I'm learning to do that too.
I just started Clubhouse. I didn't even put that in there. We start Clubhouse.
Yes. My daughter just came in the room. Hey, honey. And then if people want to reach out and work with you, they should just send you an email, right? Erna@bloomingaces.com.
Any question, don't be shy. Just email me, and then I'll do my best. And you can do discovery call if you have like, oh my gosh, I have this business idea and I really want to do this. I need your help. Just email me. Let me know a little bit about what you need, and then we'll just schedule a discovery call, and I'll be there.
Awesome. Well, Erna, I want to say thank you for coming on the show this week and sharing about your journey from going from corporate America and to creating your own business and providing branding services, workshops, and consults to businesses that want to, or entrepreneurs who are wanting to really get their brand out there and create that community, create that that language and the impact and the their tribes, build their tribes. You've got your tribe with Blooming Aces community, and it's and I've met Latvi, met some people from the 10X community that have worked with you, and they have nothing but wonderful things to say. You helped me a little bit with my Excelsior Solar branding, and just said, you said, yeah, I like it. I would change this, and I took your advice and I did it. So how did I know? What was that?
I'll tell you about it. Because to me, honesty is a way for all of us to grow. From where we at to like the next level. So
So
thank you for helping me.
You're welcome. So reach out to Erna Blooms if you want to work with her. She's so caring and lovely and generous and just wants to help. As you heard her in this interview, it's really about making our world a better place and all that. So Erna, thank you so much for coming on today. Let's see. We have one. We have one comment here. Sumaya Peterson says, thank you, ladies. You're very welcome. I hope that you gain a lot of knowledge or information or insight from this interview today with Erna. So, so Erna, thank you again. Hang tight. I'll put you back in the little green room, and I'm going to talk about next week's show. But thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And if you hear my children screaming in the background, it's because my daughter's upset at the moment. But next Wednesday, I will be having copywriter Norm, sorry, I'm looking at my calendar, Norm Jones. He is a copywriter. He helps people who have a message and construct it in such a way that it will come across. It will either help you sell more things. Maybe you have like a blog or a website and you want to really take everything to the next step with your copywriting. He's going to come on and share about the importance of copywriting and share how he got into copywriting himself. So that is for next week's show on Wednesday, February 3rd, which is kind of crazy to believe that we're close to wrapping up January for the month, or for the very first month of the year. So I hope everyone has a safe and healthy weekend, and you go out and spend some time with your friends and family safely. I know in California, restaurants are starting to open up, hair salons, and all those I guess personal services. So please go out, support your local businesses, order some takeout, or go if you want to go and eat, but and go get your hair cut from your salon and everything. Just go support your local businesses. I know that they'll appreciate it. And until Wednesday, have a good one.